Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we're diving into a real estate strategy that seems to fly in the face of all logic. But as you're about to see, the results, well, they speak for themselves. So, let's just start with a paradox, a question that kind of breaks every single rule you've probably ever heard about selling a home. I mean, it sounds completely insane, doesn't it? But stick with me here, because today we are walking through a real-world case study of a strategy that does exactly that. And believe me, it flips conventional wisdom right on its head. All right, so the seller's dilemma. To really get this, we first need to understand the core obstacles that pretty much every single home seller is up against. Look, any house that's just sitting there on the market, not selling, it's failing because of one of these three things: price, condition, or location. Now, you can't exactly pick up your house and move it, right? So that's off the table. That leaves you with two levers you can actually pull: the condition of the home and its price. And this strategy we're talking about, it tackles both. But wow, in ways you would probably never expect. Now, listen to this quote. This comes from the actual homeowner in our case study. And get this, she wasn't some rookie seller. She is a licensed real estate agent with 13 years of experience. And even she, knowing that this strategy works, admitted it was terrifying. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about how much this plan is going to test your nerve. Okay, play number one, and this part is absolutely non-negotiable. It is all about the condition of the house. The mission, should you choose to accept it, is to transform the house from a personal, lived-in home into an absolutely irresistible product. And the goal here, it's all psychology. What you want is for a potential buyer to walk through that front door, look around, and literally think to themselves, wait, does someone even live here? That's the feeling you're going for. That sense of a brand new, untouched model home, where they can immediately start picturing their own stuff, their own life. You see, this goes way beyond just tidying up. This is about signaling meticulous care. In this case study, they scrubbed everything. Even the unfinished basement was spotless. You know, using a checklist like this is so important because it gets you, the homeowner, out of your own head. It removes that emotional bias and forces you to see the house through a buyer's eyes, which, let's be honest, is almost impossible to do on your own. Okay, so the house is perfect. Next up, let's see how that same level of discipline carries over to the online marketing side of things, specifically the photos. So check this out. The MLS, the main real estate site, allows for up to 100 photos. This listing, it used only 18. Just 18. And for the seller, who, remember, had just put in beautiful new bathrooms and had this great mudroom, this was a huge source of anxiety. In fact, she said it was her biggest fight with the agent, even bigger than the argument over the price. And here's why. It's the core logic of this whole thing. The point of the online photos is not to show every single nook and cranny of the house. Why? Because all that does is give people a million reasons to swipe left, to say no without ever leaving their couch. The real goal is to create curiosity, a little bit of mystery, just enough intrigue to make them have to come see it in person. Yeah, think of it this way. Your photos are an advertisement for the visit. They are not an advertisement for the house itself. You're selling the appointment, not the property online. You show off the highlights for sure, but you keep some things back. You save those little surprises, that awesome laundry room, that cool feature in the backyard, as a reward for the people who actually make the effort to show up. Okay, deep breaths, everyone. We've arrived at the most terrifying part of the plan. This is the piece that ties everything we've talked about together. It's time to talk about the price. So let's pause for a second. Based on the pristine condition, the professional staging, those intentionally limited and tantalizing photos, what do you think they listed this house for? Seriously, take a guess. $425,000. That was the list price. And for the sellers who knew their home was worth so much more, that number was, in their own words, a gut punch. It was a price they would never, ever have actually accepted for their home. So to calm their completely frayed nerves, the agent had to make one thing absolutely crystal clear. She told them,
Listen, we are not going to take 425. We're not signing any offers at 425. This isn't the target price. It's a strategic starting point. The goal isn't to get this price, it's to use this price to get the biggest crowd of buyers through the door.
And the psychology here is just brilliant. And you can see it play out at those big Barrett-Jackson car auctions. They'll have a car that everyone expects will sell for $10 million, but they start the bidding at $2 million. Why? Because a low start price creates a frenzy. It creates competition, emotion, momentum. People get caught up in the thrill of the chase. Now, imagine if they'd started the bidding at $30 million. It would have scared almost everyone away. You'd never get that bidding war, and you'd never reach that crazy final price.
Okay, so now for the payoff. This is where all the pieces of the puzzle, that pristine condition, those teaser photos, and that gut-wrenching price all come together in this perfectly executed, high-stakes 72-hour launch.
The timeline itself is a weapon here. It's engineered to create urgency. So they go live on the MLS on a Thursday at noon. But you can't see the house. No showings allowed. Not Thursday, not Friday. The anticipation just builds and builds until Saturday, when there's a single jam-packed open house event. Everyone has to come at once, and they have until Sunday to get their offers in. It's designed to create a very visible, very real competitive showdown.
And the results of all that manufactured urgency, it was immediate. It was overwhelming. They got 10 offers in just 24 hours after that open house.
And get this, more than 60 people came through that single open house. Think about what that feels like. It means that at any given moment when you're a buyer walking through, you can see 5, 6, 7 other families looking at the same kitchen, walking through the same living room. It's not just a feeling of competition anymore. It's real, tangible, visual proof that this house is the hottest thing on the market.
So what was the final number? The accepted offer was $475,000. That's $50,000 over that scary list price. But here's what's really fascinating. It wasn't even the highest dollar amount they were offered. It was the cleanest offer. It had a super fast financing contingency, and, this is crucial, no appraisal contingency, which made it the strongest, safest bet for the sellers.
In this is where the strategy really shows its incredible power. After the inspection, the buyer came back with a list of repairs they wanted. Totally legitimate stuff. In a normal sale, this kicks off a whole new round of negotiations, right? But here, the sellers had all the power. They just said, no, that's it. And the buyer, terrified of losing the house to one of those 9 other backup offers, immediately dropped all the requests and agreed to take the house as is. Incredible.
So, when it's all said and done, it really boils down to this one simple question. When you sell your house, is your asking price a ceiling or is it a floor? See, most sellers treat their price like a ceiling that they're hoping to maybe, just maybe, stretch up and touch. This strategy, it flips that completely. It reframes the list price as a floor, a starting line for a race. And by creating that race, you give yourself the chance to not just reach the finish line, but to blow right past it.